And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio at West Point. It's Air Force Week, a big rivalry for West Point. Army will be going out to Colorado Springs. But we're interested, it's cold, it's been snowing there this week, so it's going to be different. We had a chance at practice today to talk with a couple of the Army players, Connor Slomka, a senior fullback, Kjetil Cline, a senior wide receiver, and Christian Anderson, a junior quarterback who came in and played very well in the second half last week. So let's hear from the players and Coach Monken. And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio at West Point. It's Air Force Week, and we have a chance to talk to Army junior quarterback Christian Anderson. And Christian, good to see you. How is it? It's a little wet out there, but how's practices so far?
I think it was a good practice. Just putting in our game plan for Air Force. So just working out the kinks today. I thought we had a pretty good practice, effort-wise and execution-wise. I think we did pretty good.
Very good. Well, Saturday you got called on. Two quarterbacks got hurt, and you went in and you really showed a lot of speed in the game. What was it like when you went into the game on Saturday?
I just tried to help the team out as best as I can. Try to make some plays. Whether it was improvising or whatever, just trying to be ready during the week. I'm always trying to be ready in case I get in that situation. My coach always tells me to be ready, so I think just in practice I always prepare to in case I'm the starter for any type of game. So I think I just try to take what I learned from practice into the game.
Okay, and I got to ask you, you had that 130-yard run for a touchdown. It really got the team back into the game. Just tell us about that play and what it's like when you see a hole open up that you can run through.
Yeah, I think the O-line did a great job opening up that hole. Once I seen it, I just try to hit it as hard as I can. And I heard from the sideline score, so I just try to go as fast as I can, try to break a couple tackles, and just try to get into the end zone.
Hey, you're from my dad's neck of the woods, Bronx, New York. Went to Cardinal Hayes, and tell us a little bit about your decision to come up here to West Point to play football and be learn the Army.
I think it was a great decision. I just thought about all the history here and the legacy and what it means to serve here, and I think that all came into my decision to come here.
Okay, and what's your academic study area?
I'm a systems engineering major.
That's a great major. It's my favorite major up here to hear about the players in, because I think it's so important data for a large organization, a very good field to study. And have you been out to the airports? Would you go on the last trip out there 2 years ago?
No, I have not. I did not.
Well, it's an interesting environment, a rivalry game, and it's on a campus, so it's really a neat day. And what have the seniors who have been out there told you about getting set to play out at the Air Force Academy Stadium?
I think the main thing has just been the altitude difference. That's pretty much all I've heard, but I think we're just going to still just try to do the things we can control, which is practice out here and get ready for the game.
Could be a little cold there, too. I heard it's in the teens out in Colorado, a little bit of snow this week. Just keys in practice, what the coaches are saying about preparing for the Air Force game?
We're just going to practice the same way we always practice. Just going to, like I said, just do the things we can control, which is practicing good, ball security, stuff like that. So that's what we're going to focus on.
Christian Anderson from the Bronx, New York. Great to see you, and best wishes from everybody at the American Legion. We'll see you out in Colorado on Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio at West. And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio at Army football practice. We're indoors today because it's a little wet out there, but good practice for the team. We had a chance to talk with Army senior wide receiver Kjetil Cline. And KJ, first, tell us about how the practice was today.
It was a really good practice. It was really fast for being a Tuesday practice. Everyone's kind of fresh, so it's good to get back out there and just get back into things. And so it was a really good practice.
Very good. Well, tell us a little bit about your season as a wide receiver. You get a few balls, but it's a lot of blocking. How has it been blocking for the offenses and your play this year?
I mean, blocking is a big part of what we do, obviously, because we're a triple option team, but we take pride in that. We actually have a sign in our room, the most physical wide receivers in college football, so our room takes a lot of pride in blocking. So it feels good to do your job and see a big play happen, because you never know when your one job could spring a big play. So we take pride in that blocking aspect.
Very good. Now tell us where you're from and what high school you went to.
I'm from Woodbury, Minnesota, but my senior year I went to IMG Academy.
Okay, well, you're going to be, it's cold out there in Colorado. It's not going to bother you being from Minnesota. Why did you decide to come to West Point, and how has it lived up to the opportunity that you thought it would be?
I always said cold is cold no matter where you go, but my blood's a little thicker, being from Minnesota. But sorry, what was the last question?
Just about how has West Point been for you as a learning opportunity, a growing experience?
I've definitely grown a lot since my freshman year here. It's kind of funny to see the development from I see freshmen now asking some similar questions that I did, but I've definitely grown as a leader, and just being around these people have helped me grow up as an individual too. Just some of the decisions I make, to the things I do, to the way I prepare for different things. West Point definitely helped me a lot in that development.
Very good. What's your academic study area?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
That's a tough major. What's the best thing about studying mechanical engineering?
I like to be hands-on with a lot of different things, so it gives you a lot of different interdisciplinary options. Like right now I'm taking a robotics class, which is a lot of coding and like hands-on work, so I really enjoy that stuff.
Very good. And what part of the Army are you hoping is going to be in your envelope next month?
Hopefully signal, but we'll see. I'll be honest, be happy just to be out there, be in the force, be working with Joe's, doing anything.
Okay, very good. Now, as a senior, big game. Last couple of games haven't gone the way you wanted, but you wanted, Air Force, it's a rivalry unto itself. What have you been saying? What have the coaches been saying about preparing for this game?
We always kind of taking it one game at a time. So this is the next big game. It's the biggest game we have because it's the next game. So we just have to make sure that we stay locked in and stay focus on the fundamentals, and do everything that we can to make sure that we come out with a win.
Kjetil Cline, Army senior wide receiver from Minnesota. Great to see you. Best wishes from everybody at the American Legion.
Thank you. You too.
Our pleasure. This is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio at West Point. And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio. We're at West Point Army football practice. It's Air Force Week. Have a chance to talk to Army senior fullback Connor Slomka. And Connor, good to see you. A little wet out there, but how was practice, your first day of preparation?
These practices are always, they're just different. There's so much more energy. There's a lot more electricity out there because we know how important this is for us. As far as practice today, I thought that we did a really good job of just staying focused and engaged the whole time. And I think we did a really good job of attention to details, which is, if you've seen us play this year, that's been a really big problem for us. So
okay. Going out to Air Force, you've been out there before. It's a different environment for a Commander-in-Chief game because you're on campus at a Falcon Stadium. What have you been telling your teammates about preparing to being at the Air Force Academy?
I think it's just something it's going to be different. The elevation's going to have an effect on you. That there's going to be a lot more energy surrounding the game. But, I think everybody around here knows that, and I think everyone around here expects that.
Very good. How's your academic year been going this year? What have you been studying? What's your major?
I'm an organizational psychology major, and as far as I've had an engineering class that's been going pretty well for my engineering track, and then my other three classes I've been taking so far have been going pretty good as well. I got really good teachers, and it's been a good year.
Well, this is a couple of weeks from branch selection night. Is there a part of the Army that you're looking forward to seeing in your envelope?
I'm really hoping to get infantry. We'll see where it goes, though. I'll go wherever they tell me.
Absolutely. Just what's your final thought about preparing for Air Force? You want to turn the season, but it's just a big rivalry game going against another service academy.
Obviously, this is a huge game for us. We're not going to do anything special to win this game other than focus on ourselves and make sure that we get what we do down. And I think that's something that we're just going to focus on this week in practice. I think as long as we can do that, it's going to give us our best chance to win.
Connor Slomka, good to see you, and best wishes out at Air Force and everybody at the American Legion. Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I think the first day was good. There's a lot of learning, and it's such a transition, particularly for our defense, to play this offense. So hopefully we'll find that we did some good things on film and probably some things we need to correct, and hope to have a couple good days to follow this up.
Extra little bit of energy out there when it's Air Force Week?
For sure. It's a great rivalry, and our guys are excited. I'm sure their guys are excited as well. So they should be pumped up, and they should be practicing well, and it's an awfully big game for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.
Coach, you're going from having played some very good passing teams, passing quarterbacks last couple of weeks, to now playing a really good running team in Air Force. How does that shift the focus of the defense?
Well, it's entirely different defending this offense, and to their credit, they throw the ball really well too at Air Force, and they've thrown for a bunch of yards and threw for plenty against us last year. So we're going to have to be very, very cautious of committing everybody to the run and giving up a pass. So it makes it particularly difficult because the actions and angles are so different for everybody on defense, and it's kind of like going back to preseason camp, really playing our own offense, and there's some similarities, but they do some unique things too.
You talk a little bit about Air Force. They're very good at stopping the run. The opponent's been getting less than 100 yards of rushing against them last year. This season, what are some of the things that you're going to be looking at on offense to try to open up the game?
Just try to find ways to move the football, and they have done a good job on defense, and hopefully we'll be able to block them and get things going in the run game, and as well as throwing the football.
Ready to see all the soldiers out there from Fort Carson out in Colorado like we did last time?
Well, that's Fort Carson is a real source of pride for the Army, and that makes Colorado Springs an Army town. So we're glad to be going out there, and hopefully we'll have a lot of those soldiers there to cheer us on.
Coach, thank you. See you on Saturday. And always good to hear from the Army players and Coach Monken. Army will be at the Air Force Academy, 3:30 start on Saturday. You can watch the game on the CBS Sports Network and follow our coverage on Facebook, West Point Football Report, and on Twitter at Sons Legion Radio. From West Point, for Sons American Legion Radio, this is Ken Kraetzer.